This is Denis Taaffe. I'm in my studio and we're going to kind of go down a memory lane, I guess you could say. Basically what I'm doing is piecing together an album of material that was recorded before my first album, for the most part, and part of what was going to be my second album. So these are just tracks that really were never released or ended up anywhere. And sometimes you'll see why. It starts out with one called Smoke. And Smoke was really, at the time I was trying to quit smoking. So I wrote a song about it. In a way, it was kind of a Stevie Ray Vaughan influenced, in a way. He had these long diatribes, of where he would just go off on these tangents and play and have almost a spoken word kind of thing. And so that's what I did on this one. And you'll see it's stark different from what I'm doing now. Probably like, here it is. Yeah. And that was done on a PV2 effects. So really, I kind of made the words up, as I went, pretty much. And then would have little lead lines in between each one. Using a wah pedal. So I'd have different kind of lead lines, different guitar sounds for each lead.
Let's see. It's gonna be my last. It's an addiction, worse than crack. Something you can handle that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so this is one. That never made any album or anything. You can pretty much see why, dude. So I think this goes on for quite a while, actually. Let's fast forward it a bit. Yeah.
It's destroyed my mind.
So here we go. Going on the long diatribe, the spoken word thing.
It'll destroy your body.
Alright. Anyway, so that was the first track. This next track's called Fat Boy. And at the time when I recorded it, basically I found this sound and it had a pitch shifter. And if you hit a harmonic just right, it would make the guitar squeal in a real high-pitched noise. So you can hear some of that. And you'll hear it right away. I think it's right at the beginning. You'll hear that high-pitched squeal. More to a Jimi Hendrix kind of thing, a jam, really. has two main guitar tracks using really strange sounds. In fact, if you'll hear it on the right-hand side, you'll hear where it's a real low sound with a wah, and it's just going chugga 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 chugga. You can hear that here. Here going chugga 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 chugga. Here it is, that kind of phasey sound. And then the other side was more of a... Here, let's go back a little bit. You can hear some of that. It's a strange, high-pitched sound. It was a wah, but with a pitch filter. A wah with a pitch filter. Right there. So when you put those two together, okay, this next one's called Headlice. This one's called Headlice. And Headlice has a story behind it. And this was really just having fun with the recorder. But I knew a person who was was very concerned about head lice. You know, so I imagined head lice attacking, you know, a remote island, and these people were shipwrecked on the island back in the 1700s, being attacked by head lice. It's horrible. So I came up with this little recording. Yes, it says, surely my shipmates and I became severely disturbed because they were being infested by head lice, of course. So I'd used a lot of diminished arpeggios there to get that kind of eerie sound, you know.
Slowly but surely, it overtook us all.
Surely but slowly, but it overtook us all.
Slowly but surely, we all became infected with this evil I've never seen.
Yes, the moderator becomes agitated as he tells his tale of being infested by head lice.
There's nothing we can do. We tried and tried to escape its evil clutches.
Same kind of thing. I was just talking into a microphone, thinking of ideas that would work, you know, for this, just telling a story off the top of my head, which didn't make much sense at all, but that's alright.
We were defeated. We didn't know where to turn.
Now I tried to get it so that when I said head lice, that the drums would come in, make it more impact.
Remove any kind of body hair. That didn't help at all. It just came from like braids and glass.
I guess I shaved their body hair, but I guess that didn't help at all.
Infested the colony, infested the crew members.
Infested the crew members.
Exterminated our rations. There was nothing we could do. No matter how we tried.
My goodness. Alright, let's see if we can get to
One by one,
let's get to the headlights.
infested with this virus. It was impossible to defeat them.
It was was impossible to defeat them. Headlice. Horrible. Alright, anyway. Well, the next one was one called Sad Sack. And this was actually messing around on the recorder. And it was actually done for a website that wanted a track with just some kind of guitar in it. At the time, it was a big deal for me to have a website asking me to do something musical for them. I also did the Star Wars spoof for them where I added some guitar parts and things and they animated it. But this was Sad Sack. This was just a really short instrumental kind of thing. Here comes a sweep. I remember that for the soloing, it wasn't any one particular scale. It was almost improvised, but true improvisation. Until we get to this part here. So up until that time, I just had the digital recorder and was having fun with it, coming up with different parts and things. Now here's one called Crossroads. Obviously a spoof on Eric Clapton, and Crossroads and that whole kind of bluesy thing, By that time the blues were kind of something I'd done when I was younger, just playing guitar. But I was really, the truth is, I think musically I was miles away from the blues, really. But this was kind of a sound like that. Oh, and I tried to give the sappy, bluesy-ish vocals. Didn't work at all. It was terrible. You'll hear it here. Try to sound, like the old blues man or something. I've got 3 guitar parts there: rhythm, a kind of a drone, and then a lead on top of that. And then my crusty vocals at some point. Very bluesy at all. As I said, I was way beyond the blues by this point, really. Okay, here are the crusty vocals. I think that's more in reference to the Crossroads movie with Ralph Macchio. than it was for the blues.
Mercy on my soul, and let me through. I don't wanna get these demons away from my soul. 'Cause you know I gotta be free. Yes, I wanna be free.
Oh yeah! Oh jeez. It's not a real bluesy solo, it's more of a minor, minor scale solo of some sort. There's a little slow there. Yes, and then I was talking about prairie dogs, wasn't it? Like they're running after me, little prairie dogs. See, where were the prairie dogs? What was it? Yeah, prairie dogs. Oh my God. But aren't little prairie dogs, aren't they like about 6 inches? About 6 inches high or something? Isn't that a prairie dog? See, I was thinking hellhounds, on my trail. But instead it comes out prairie dogs. Get these prairie dogs on my tail. Alright. Now, interestingly, there's a tremolo guitar on the right. You can hear it. Okay, it's gone now, but hold on. Let's go back a little bit. We can hear that tremolo guitar on there. I had an effect that was kind of a bullhorn type of effect.
What can I do? Get in good graces with you.
It's not very convincing, I guess. Alright, there we go again with the prairie dogs. Okay. Well, the next one, it has no name, and it's always been referred to as No Name. I don't know why. Reminds me very much of a Peter Frampton type of thing, type of instrumental for some reason. And it's just an instrumental. I remember recording it. I have nothing in particular in mind for it. If you hear the rhythm, it very much sounds like it. I think the big thing was trying to mix and match distorted and clean guitars at the same time. It's this kind of recording that really got me to thinking about both clean and distorted parts at the same time. I think it also helped me with the rhythm, But really, the clean guitar with the distortion was the big focus. You're trying to get that old 70-ish type of a Led Zeppelin sound, you know, Peter Frampton-ish type sound. Okay, the next one's a real important song, actually. This was a song that was going to be on my first album, and it's called Suffer. And really, it was almost trying to do a country song. But the interesting thing is that if you listen to the guitar, one of them is detuned, and it's tuned in a really strange way, with a pitch shifter as well. And I remember sitting up, you had to sit up right next to the speaker, and it would catch the normal tuning of the guitar as well as the detuned tuning. Unfortunately, I ruined it with my vocals, you know, and here, this is where I really tried to sing, including background vocals. You'll hear it here. And it's almost a country-ish kind of song. Called Suffer. Strange detuned guitar along with the original guitar. I'd suffered too damn long to go on. And it's got me singing and then trying to do a background vocal too. Right there is part of that detuned guitar. I was really pleased about it at the time because it's so unusual. I'm just not a singer. Didn't work very well at all. Even when I tried to do several parts at once. Wow. vocal. And I was all thrilled about this right here. Singing a solo part. Here you go. They were, so the second person singing, which was still me, but I didn't remember the words, so I just kind of made them up, make it sound like the first one. And so you're not sure what are you saying? Because it's two different things. Now this next one is called Headache. And really, it was just trying to see how many different kinds of sounds I could mix together. I had an effects processor, so I'd find all these strange guitar parts and strange guitar sounds, try to mix them together, and mold them into one huge sound, one guitar sound. So this came up with Headache. And, if you listen to it too long, you will get a headache. Okay, let's hear Headache. There you had a main part. They had a little high part. It's almost like a little scratchy guitar part. And there you hear that low phasing wah sound again. You can hear it. I used it on this side. On this left side right here. It sounds like somebody drinking it from a cup or something. Put it together though. Now that's right here. That's purely a digital effect on the recorder. I thought it was neat to incorporate it. Definitely remind me very much of a kind of like alien sounds, unusual sounds. There's that delayed clean guitar going too. So it wasn't all noise. Anyway, that one just just didn't make it to the first album. Now here's a song that I think should have, and I don't know why I didn't use it. And unfortunately, this version here is not from the master, so the master is a bit cleaner actually. But this is what I've found for so far, because the rest is on a tape, and I need to get that kind of recorder to actually get the master off of it. This one was called Haunted, and you can tell it very much sounds like what songs from my first album sounded like, traditional recording. I very much had Van Halen in mind with the little delayed guitar in the rhythm section you'll hear. And then, of course, my crummy singing. Back then I was still trying to sing a little bit, because that's what I thought was normal, just to sing. But I discovered I wasn't much of a singer, Well, anyway, this is Haunted. So there, I had the little lead guitar. It's kind of a theme that ran throughout the first album, actually.
You're only part of my past, but these old memories last. You don't even let me sleep, these memories directly. You're not even in my head, you're only in my head.
If there was going to be a hit on the album, this would be one of them, right? It had the delayed guitar, the chorus, the verse, a bridge, a solo, very conventional. Here's the solo. Very much a Van Halen-ish kind of style to it. Even the cheeky little solo, that cliched ending. But that track really was kind of special in a way because it really, well, as far as songwriting goes, was basically what I could do at the time. It actually had no whole other verse and things. But I sang the verse in a different style and it didn't really fit the first part, so pretty much cut it, and that was the end of it. I think that's why I didn't use it, in fact. Now the next one, yes, Honor. Honor. Now, Honor was just supposed to be a little guitar instrumental, and turns out my cat at the time was a little kitten. Yeah, it was trying to think. Yeah, it was Pixel. We had just gotten Pixel, this little tiny thing at the time, so you'll hear him in the beginning. This one was called Honor, and it had the crusty little drum pattern, kind of a military, thinking about like a military funeral kind of thing or something. So this kind of, so that was Pixel. So then I tried to find a second guitar part to go along with it after this first part played, and where they would mesh together. So here now is the second guitar coming in with the first. That little drum part was done with the little drum machine, you know, with a finger tap here. I remember I had a friend doing a lot of the little finger taps there, but it was basically trying to mesh two different guitar parts and make it sound like one clean guitar there. Oh, now here's Same Old Thing. And this is when I was working at a retail store, working in retail, spending hours, you know, waiting on people and things, and basically, man, I wouldn't wish that on anybody after a while, you know. It just got really old, and so one day a song, you know, every day it's the same old thing, and this is it. Oh, again, with vocals. About how monotonous it was, you know, almost robotic. In fact, you'll hear the guitar has this robotic part to it. Like the delayed part's supposed to be the robotic part of it. Dreamy sound. So here's that robotic, probably monotonous, as if you're on a factory line.
Get to work by 8:15. Might as well put your dreams on hold before you know that you're getting old. Every day it's the same old thing.
And it really sucks.
Every day it's the same old thing.
Not very enthusiastic. Oh, this is funny.
And it isn't fair. How did they dare?
Don't they care?
Don't they care?
And now the guitar. Feeling sorry for yourself. So that was the guitar going. I did a lot of sweeping in those days.
Every day it's the same routine. Get you used like a machine.
There you
They
go.
don't care if you don't last.
wasn't making, so I remember leaving shortly after that. Okay, now there's 2 more tracks left. And these tracks are special indeed because these are 2 tracks that were the beginning of what would have been my second album, number 2. Actually, my second album changed when I discovered looping. And so these tracks kind of got lost. And really what it was, for the second one, second album, I was really thinking, well, it was kind of like as if a guitarist, had joined, Ozzy Osbourne's band. And you'll hear a lot of Randy Rhoads influences and things. And I put a lot of that into it. You'll hear even at the very beginning of it. So this one is Don't You See. Don't You See. And of course, I ruined these tracks with the vocals. They shouldn't have vocals really. Anyway, it was. Did you hear that little note right there? Let's play that again, and you'll hear this little note that pans from left to right. Well, that's a classic Randy Rhoads thing that he would use on his albums, especially at the beginning and ends of his songs. He would put in little notes, that would pan from left to right over the metal rhythm things, I was very much concentrating on the guitar parts, though, and having them sound good, and I think they do. They were big, they were thick sounds. But anyway. Right there, that was really using a lot of the clean guitar with the distorted guitar together. Kind of like Rush did a lot, but definitely trying to take it a little further. And then unfortunately it goes into the verse, and that's pretty much, that's kind of my downfall, I guess, at the time. But I really like this part. I like this type of guitar where it's kind of distorted and clean guitar at the same time. It's very melodic. Okay, here comes the verse. Now notice that's very monotone first off. It just never seemed to fit quite right. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I didn't have a mic preamp at all. I don't know that would help though. Terrible. Well, I think then I tried to put in a chorus, thinking, well, I'll just harmonize a couple more voices, it'll sound better. Well, no, it didn't. Open your eyes, we're destroying all that's alive. Will you realize? Now that part right there, that was the harmony. Vocals, that sound terrible. It sounded... Gosh, I don't even know what to describe it as. Just bad. Now, then came the guitar solo, kind of a guitar break, And this was kind of trying to make it more of like a hard rock kind of thing, like an AC/DC type thing. So I put in this a riff and things. And then I think it goes into a solo, I'm not sure. Ah, yes. Okay. Now here you'll hear a rhythm part, and then over it, I put this lead, and it was supposed to be this alternating lead, but in the end, really, the lead is sounding kind of like a chicken. You know, it goes quack, quack, quack. You'll see what I mean. And I didn't mean to do it that way, you know. It was supposed to be cool at the time. Very 80s. Now, this part I really like because I was trying to imitate Eric Johnson, you know, so I had this, like right there was this harder lead, kind of like a Joe Satriani lead, and then I had the smooth Eric Johnson, you know, violin-ish kind of lead. So mixing those together, you can hear it. That's the harder, and now the softer Eric Johnson-ish kind of lead. And I doubled the solo here, which is another thing Randy Rhoads would do. And I like this part because of a lot of distortion and clean guitar, playing different parts together. And there's a swell guitar, a little lead that I use often now. The clean instrumental. That was an Eve Malmsteen diminished sweeping rate. Now back to the distorted guitar. And God forbid, I think another vocal section. I hope not. Okay, so unfortunately the guitar I think is really good actually. It's sad. It's sad that I ruined it with the vocals, but as far as the guitar parts, and you know, finding different guitar parts, that's what I discovered that I was really good at, and it helps me now when I do looping, you know, finding different part. What part will fit over another part, that kind of thing. And this is what really helped, you know, finding different parts that would fit well together. Here's the AC/DC type part. And here's the chicken. Sad, that sounds like a chicken. Now, the next track is called The Last Day. It's called The Last Day. Same kind of thing. It would have been okay if had it not been for the crusty vocals. Also, when you hear the beginning of it right here, if you listen to the drums, that's the first time I had to program the drums myself without using any kinds of presets and things. So you'll hear drum parts that no drummer would ever play, and then trying to play to that. And what I was all thrilled about is that it started on an odd time meter. You know, it started out of time. It was really hard to get it started right at that time when the clean guitar comes in, because I have this strange drum part going at a totally different rhythm, you know. If it worked together, but I don't think people understood what I was trying to do at all. I should have just cut out that part and just left it at the clean part. But same thing, I ruined it with the vocals anyway, so. But here's how it started. Yeah, let's go to the next one. And same kind of thing, this was going to be a heavy metal guitar album, really. A little heavier than the first one. So here are my drums. And you'll hear the actual song start on 3 instead of 4. Right there.
Collides with the sun, and the angels of darkness have come. There's no place for the guilty to run. The age of darkness has begun.
Interesting solo. And again, that started out with a clean guitar with a solo going, and then going into the heavier distorted rhythm guitar. Don't listen to the vocals, the guitar is actually pretty good.
It won't help to fall to your knees.
There's that Eric Johnson influence.
What will all your possessions mean when you see what the angels bring?
Yeah, just that monotone scene just didn't work. Okay, besides the hokey vocals, if you ignore those, it's nice when the distorted guitar, where it drops out and leaves only the clean guitar, you know, so it goes from distorted to clean, you know, by dropping out. Now drop out the distorted.
And buildings collapse and fall. What's your money worth at the mall? Will your army still stand tall? You know the end is near for us all.
A happy little ditty. Oh. Kind of a classical influence. I really like the distorted guitar here, rhythm. Now bring in the clean guitar over it. And that's it. Some of the songs I regret not putting on their first album, so it's really nice to get a chance to put them out on this album, you know, the Archive one. So this album I think is ready to go. It's 13 tracks. It's about 46 minutes, 43 seconds. And I'm going to call it Archive 1.